All right, so hopefully you've had a chance to work this out on your own, but in any case, I've just added this little script file, SQL file. Notice I have the .txt just so it opens in Notepad easily for everybody. And so this has got the 5 standard stored procedures in it, as well as list style stored procedures for art type and artists and so on. So I'm going to click this. There, it's even open there. I can copy it from there. That'll work fine. So let me just get Visual Studio up and going. Going to go through this one more time from scratch, right? So I'll create a new project. It will be web. Oh, and I don't want core. I want .NET Framework, but be careful. It's not Visual Basic. Usually after you do this a few times, it starts to learn and give you better suggestions. So here we are, .NET Framework, C#. Yep, this is the one I want. Okay, and again, I'll put it in my work folder. And I'm going to call it, I'll be a little bold, solution art house. That's good enough. Okay. And we'll just create that empty with web forms and no HTTPS. And this shouldn't take too long. Okay. So we're up. So good practice. Start remembering, because we will eventually definitely want to be having some validation controls on our page, right? Hopefully you've had some time to look through those other videos I posted on the basics of web forms, especially the last one that covers the validation controls. So anticipating that I will want to use them at some point when we come back here. I also threw this little snippet up here in content by category. So there's my fix for the unobtrusive JavaScript. I'll just copy that, come over here, paste it in here, and there we go. So now it will generate its own validation instead of relying on that unobtrusive JavaScript library. Okay, good thing to do before we forget. All right, so app data. Okay, I'll just create the database again. That's one thing I will always give you script files. Even if I post the solution, I'll make sure there's a script file for the database. Just that there are different issues with versions of SQL Server. And if you don't have the same one that we have in the lab, I'm using the same one that is on the lab computer. So I'm pretty confident anything I create on my own PC or at home should work fine on the lab computers. I'll triple check that, but I am pretty confident right now. But if you're ever in a situation where you get some message about, oh, this database is version such, and we're supporting version this, and so on, all you have to do is delete the database, take the supplied script, add a new database, and it'll be created with whatever version you have on your computer, and then run the script, and that should get you around that problem. But hopefully we won't have too much of that going on. Okay, so I'll just add a new item in app data, SQL Server database. Oop. Art house. Maybe I should give this a bit of a has stored procedures, and it's kind of version 1 of the stored procedures. So should have thought about that ahead of time, but that'll do for now. Okay. So that will create the database. While that's cooking, I'll just come over here, come back, grab this entire script, Control C, come back into Visual Studio, connecting to the database. I'll just right click, ask for a query window, and paste in. And it should be good to go. There we go. Query executed successfully. All right, good stuff. Okay, so I can just close this now. Nope, don't need to save it. And I'll just do a quick refresh here. All right, so these have got the basics that we had talked about. I think I did make a slight change to artwork here, just in terms of an alias, but nothing major. So view definition, right? I think I just added as art type here because I like the capital A instead of the small letter A. But there we go. So that's our, let me just emphasize again, we have in the view all the audit fields and the timestamp. But as I said in the instructions, our stored procedures are set up without them, right? So we can just, they look after themselves, they have enough defaults and so on and so forth that we're good. We don't have to worry about it. But here we're just selecting the actual data itself, right? Our art type and artist are coming from the view. That's the concatenated version of the last name, comma, first name of the artist, and so on. Okay, from our view. And then we have all of them here. So ones that we didn't do in our video the other day, here's our update. Right, so we do pass in the primary key, and that is used in the where clause. Notice, even though there's a timestamp, because we're not using the where clause here, and changes to the timestamp will be ignored. So we aren't actually doing concurrency control per se, right? It'll be the last change wins, whichever is updated last. Whoever makes that update, their version wins. But that's okay. We can probably live with that at this point in time. And which, delete. I don't think we had done delete. That's the easiest one of all, right? Just the one parameter, the primary key, and we delete it, and that's all there is to it. Okay, our list style stored procedures, right? So here is the artist list, right? So it's just the two columns, the primary key and the concatenated version of the name, ordered, right? That's the key thing about list styles. We want them in alphabetical order. So when we display the data, we can look down the list and see it. So I'll just check this one as well. There's our art type being shown as display text and put in order along with the primary key. Okay, so that gives us all the procedures that we really need just to focus on the one table, mind you, but we're starting off fairly simple, and that's all there is to it. Okay, all right, hang on one sec.